What's up, YouTube fam? I'm actually up a little early and I decided to see what was available and share with you my very silliness yesterday. I mean, this is a learning process, right? So full disclosure is and I can't like sit around and pretend I didn't do stupid things. So I'm really happy I'm doing it this way, the learning, instead of putting my money out here, even though in my mind it feels like real money to me. So it like hurts my heart. So without further ado, let's take a look at what I did yesterday, and then let's see if we can find something this morning with the candles, because backtesting with the candles not painting is good to look for stuff, and we'll still do that, but I'm trying to live test as much as possible, and it's it's hard, during the day. But anyway, that sounds like a good time. Let's go take a look at my drawdown from yesterday, and let's see if we can't come back from this. I'm sure we can. I'm sure we can. All right, so it's 5:35 a.m. on Thursday. Yeah, beautiful. And Kitty is eating. So let's get to it. Let's get tiny. All right. Wow. What's this? What have we done today? Okay. So let's pull this down, pull that down. And so let's take a quick gander at yesterday's price action. So I'd specified buy side up here. There's this portion of the imbalance that I was expecting to come back up into. They dropped down into this old high. So if we look to the right, there's this old high that I'd specified. They dropped down, wicked into it, and then took off and took out the buy side that I'd seen here. Now, what did I do? And let me just share my drawdown. So I'm down to 18,875, and let me show you the history. Just kept getting stopped out yesterday. And the thing is, I kept doing it over and over again, like forcing my will on the markets. And I shouldn't have done that. Now, let me see, the last one I noted was 11.46. So I'm tracking every single trade I take, right? So for the last one, I hadn't written down the last one for 26, 23. Oops, sorry about that. At 15:35, it was a long, and it was a loss for me, though my stop loss was too close, and it would have been worked beautifully. All right, so about 11 o'clock, I started at doing stupid things, right? So in the morning, between 7 and 8, I had a good setup, but I got scared and I got out of it, and then it went straight to where I wanted it to. About 36 ticks, right? But I only got that. And then I started at 11 o'clock. I was working and I started looking over and I was like, oh, it's going to be a short. I just kept retrying over and over again with this and just breaking my rules. This is what happens when you break your rules, right? And then this in the afternoon, so that was 2, 4, 6. Oh my God, just in the morning, within a span of like 40 minutes, I lost $825. Why? Because I'm just being stupid. Now, if I follow my rules, 2 losses for the day should be enough. But here I am doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them in one session. And this is what happens when you don't have any patience, you don't follow your rules, and you're just kind of like trying to do your own thing. This many things during the day should not have happened, but it did. And I'm glad I'm doing it. That's why I'm taking the rest of the year, because if I'd started trading with my money now, I'd be actually an 18K down $1,000, down 1250 or whatever. So the morning, let me see. Right, here we are. So let's take a look at what was going on in the morning, right? So about 11 o'clock, all right, so I kept thinking, since they were coming back up into this bearish order block that they were going to go short. And they did, right? But after, so my brain wasn't looking at this relatively smooth buy side, right? I was looking at that. So they came up and took it out. I thought they were going to stay here because there wasn't really much up here, but they went even further, right? They went up here. So one thing that I've been noticing, if I go to my 15 minutes, and that's, if I go to my 15 minutes, um, if I'd said to myself, where are they going, right? What is up there, right? As I mentioned, we had buy side sitting here, and we had an order block here, but I didn't even remotely think about that. So about noonish is when they decided to make their play, and I knew the short was coming. I was just taking from the wrong place. And sometimes that happens, right? Also, I wasn't really following the plan, right? Which is sadly ridiculous. And they did kind of like hang out for a bit with these red candles, but then they spiked up and took these guys out. So I should have been paying attention to where they might want to like take out the stops. And that's what I didn't do here. And then down here, actually, so I saw this shift here, and we can look at it on the 5 minute. That's probably better. So down here, not even the 5 minute, like the 1 minute, sorry. So I left my illustrations from yesterday, just so you know. This is what I was aiming for, right? And I saw this shift. I was like, okay, cool. And, I didn't really look to the left to see what they were going for. So let's do that now, right? Let's go to the 15 minute and look to the left. Let's learn you can just do this. Where are they going? Okay, so I expect out this order block from the 1 hour and the old high. And I was like, where are they going? So I hadn't really like thought about it. So this is a, sell side, obviously down here. Let's come back over. So they swept out and came to this old high. So it should have occurred to me. Again, working. But I saw a nice break and I thought, here we go. Now this I had like a 13 tick stop on this. Even with my 16 tick stop, I would have been stopped out right here. Very annoying. But they did give us an opportunity for a change, right? They broke out of here, took out this, and then came back into the order block, into this breaker. Sorry, whenever you have these things on, they came. Let's delete that for a moment. They came back into this breaker right here. So low, lower low, traded through, breaker, these two candles right here, fair value gap. I didn't notice. I was too busy. I was on call. I didn't have time. But, when I came back to check what went wrong with my long, look at it. If I'd set an order, so there's the breaker, set an order here, I was thinking, inside of this fair value gap, it's a small breaker. If I'd set it at the top of the breaker. But, they like to tap into the fair value gap, maybe right there. And my 8 ticks. And then where I wanted to be, up here. It would have tapped it right there. And then I would have gotten my thing above above this. My take profit. But that's just how it goes sometimes. I'm not particularly ashamed that, things went down. Disappointed, but this is why I'm doing it this way, so I don't keep, you know, these bad habits. I mean, from the morning, it was just awful. Anyway, so let's see. What are we doing so far? Oh, we've climbed. Didn't even notice. All right, so let's take a look at what's going on right now. 1 hour. Okay, so we've climbed back up into this bearish order block. We're still inside of this fair value gap. So let's note that here, and then I'm gonna get rid of the order blocks. Oops, and the buy side and this, but I'll leave the old high since they did decide to stop at it and turn around. So we're inside of this fair value gap right now. let's uh let's go to Forex Factory. It's Thursday, so we have some stuff coming at 8:30, 10 o'clock, 10:30. So let's wait until maybe like 11 to do anything. And then tomorrow is when PCE comes out um, at 8:30, GDP and PCE. Okay. All right. So let's readjust. So we've climbed back up and that old high, and we're above this. And let's go back to our 5 minute here. And we're at the very top of this thing. Mm. So the main portion, line share, the London sessions here is 2 o'clock. So midnight's got to be around here somewhere. So there we are. Midnight opened, and we've just kind of rallied away from it. Let's open up the Dixie and the actuals. Well, 1 hour. Okay, Dixie's sort of, what is it, hanging out inside. Dixie's coming up. 5 minutes. So it's really just been consolidating. And you're making our way up slowly. Like I said, I tapped into what looks like this order block right here. Not really sure if I gap in there. A small one, but not really. So sorry about that. I wanted to look at the daily. So today would do this. Today would note the shift of which boom. Now they could bring it back up to the order blocks up here on the daily, because what they've done is they've created a fair value gap right in here. So they could be getting ready. So now we can note the high and the low of this candle, yesterday's candle. But we have a very significant shift in the opposite direction. So my expectation would be they'll dig into here at the very minimum back up to 41.34 and then maybe drop back down because they've dug into this fair value gap down here on the daily. And as I noted, this old high right there and this bullish order block all the way down here at 40.22. Still a lot of ways for them to come back down. All right. So see what the Dow is doing. It is also crawling up, looking pretty much in lockstep. See what the Nasdaq's doing. Okay. So from this low, They've made equal lows down here. These guys have gone up. So, see, from here, we've got a lower low, a lower low. Here we still sort of have equals, and here we have equals, and the Dixie is climbing up. Let me just try and visualize this. So if I go from that, and technically from this we have some sort of upward thing, but let's assume I'm there instead. And it's sort of flat, isn't it? Well, sort of down, sort of down, and mostly flat, really. And flat on the top. This base is pointing down, that one's pointing up, and that one's pointing up. So with the dollar rising, we might be dropping. So we'll see. Go back to the 15 minutes. All right, so where are we? So we are buttressing up. So we're hanging outside of this order block right here. We have very, very obvious, flat tops. So they're going to want to take that. So very obvious buy side right here, along with a fair value gap and a fair value gap. The trend so far has been just long downtrend with some retracements, more downtrend, lots of consolidation. It might be that they hold things together until 8:30 for the news. The real buy side is really up here. It's flat, the one that's noted up here, but that's something to aim for. And so push this over. Oh, it's 5 minutes. Should be 15. Sorry about that. Should be 15. There we go. I like the 15. As like an area to help me. There's also this wick right here. Hold low. Wick. Let's see. Do we have coming up on that buy side? I like early in the morning. Like my brain is fresh and I don't feel harried or anything. I just feel like I can just focus on what I'm doing. I know I'm sort of monotone too, so my bad. um, there's also an old low as well. So I'm just gonna note that. And let's just give that a light shade. So things that could draw them up into this space. And we do have fair value gap in here. And we have a bearish order block right up here with a fair value gap. So we'll see how they behave once they pop through here and tap into this. So let's see, do we have an opportunity for a long in all of this Mishima to go up here? And let's say just for funsies, looking for 20 ticks. to go up to this buy side. 25, 26 ticks. Not bad. All right, so what do we have? They've consolidated here at this area, ran up, came back down into this bullish order block. And then they're just slowly thinking about what they want to do. All right, so on the 5-minute, looks like we have a volume imbalance right here. Okay, let's drop this to the bottom. So the volume imbalance right here that they're respecting. Let's see what it would look like on the 4-minute. Respecting it. 3 minutes. Very juicy flat tops. 2 minutes. What have they been doing? They took out these lows. That low's fueled up, moved up, respecting that. 1 minute. Okay, so let's say I'm to use this as well, there we go. As a crutch. See if we can't get 20 ticks from this. With an 8 tick stop loss gets us below here. If I'm wrong. Now, what if I'm thinking to myself, like, what am I using here, right? The assumption that we're going to continue on up to tap these guys and the buy side that's up here. They've made relatively equal highs, so I wouldn't want to go short here, mainly because of that. We'll see how they behave. I would think if they take this out, I might have a chance in the opposite direction. I don't know. Let's watch. We know what we're looking for, but it's very choppy, low resistance, right? And I have this bad habit of not taking the trades that I spec out when I spec them out for, and it's bad habit. They've closed this candle below this, so right now I'm just trying to fix drawdown, honestly. So just waiting. What else are they sitting around for down here? Like, what else could be stopping them? So it looks like they want to go down lower. Maybe they want to take this out. I don't know. Let's see. So yeah, it didn't look like they were. Yeah. All right. So we're inside of some chop. Flat top. Maybe I need to fuel up for this guy or this guy. If I think about it, maybe they'll give us a break for a short, but I don't like these flats. And let me just note that we're at a bearish order block right here. We're at a bearish order block. With no fair value gaps, so what they haven't done is given us like a proper shift for me to believe. So in order maybe for me to feel like they're heading up to take this out, because that would bring us up here. Let's say I were to get an entry above here, 20 ticks would be about there. Let's see. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay. So this volume imbalance is no longer of interest to me. What have they done? They've taken these guys out. Ooh, on the 1 minute, they have a shift here. Everything's been taken out here. So maybe it's time for a quick short. So from here, see if we can get what's down here. And 8 ticks will be right up there. I don't know. Let's see. And then we have this to run back down to. I don't know. We've had a shift like that before, right here. It came up, tapped, it dropped a little bit, came back up into it again, just kept climbing. I like these types of shifts right here, nice and respectable. Come back down. Low, low, breaker. Came back into the top of the breaker and then took off. That's a nice scenario. High, higher hedge. The lowest red candle would be the breaker right here. But something more significant like this that happened at 3. Meandering about. No, that's the model right there. They took out the sell side, swept, made a proper shift, and then gave us what we're looking for. And then came back into the breaker and then rolled back up. Now, what? So if I had set the breaker here, there was a fair value gap here, but nothing really here. But they left this one right over here. Body of the breaker. Could have gotten 20 ticks, 21 ticks on that one. And then, oh, beautiful. See, I'm looking for the trades where it makes sense, my stop doesn't have to be more than 8 ticks. Like yesterday, I was doing 16 ticks, 17, and it's just bad. But look at that. 8 ticks below the breaker should be okay. This is a somewhat similar situation, but it's not a really convincing shift. It's not convincing. We're still inside of this range, unlike this one where they just swept the folks out and then decided, yep, we're moving. And done. So at this moment, I have not mastered the art of getting 20 ticks. I have not. So if I'm right, then they came back into this breaker right here. See, the low of this candle is 40.95.50. The high, move. The high of this candle is 40.95.50. So we'll see. So if this were to be believed, then that's the entry. 8 ticks still gets me above that. And let's see. But I don't like it. It's too shallow because I did it here. Shift. But this has equal heights, right? That wasn't good. They took out this. And I mean, honestly, this breaker has this guy to play with. So I really still personally feel like they're going to tap into this before they do anything else. But that's my personal thing. I could be wrong, and they just tapped into that, and then they'll drop. Let's look at this under 2 minutes. Let's look at it 5 minutes. Yeah, I don't like it. I mean, the bearish order block definitely is providing some rejection, which is making me feel like the short's a good idea for sure. What are you doing up here? Oh, right. If they were to break above here, then I would consider a long. For that, we can. I was like, so this is where they are. I wanted to break above this order block, so we can set an alert 4098 and then see what happens. Right now we're in the chop chop to chop chop, chop chop to chop chop. All right, so they've enjoyed that fair value gap for quite a bit. Let's clean up a little bit. So I have another here. So my preference at this point was if we're gonna properly go short, I need a proper shift below here. Because we had all this chop, 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 and then they shifted and then came back into that breaker I mentioned here. And then they were disrespectful to this volume imbalance, but they didn't close a candle below it. All they did was come back into a fair value gap down here and order blocks. So there's an order block here, and then we call this a propulsion block, order block, propulsion block. Yeah, so they don't do anything, they're just thinking. All right, so 5, let's see what, okay, so the NASDAQ, which was telling us we were going down, wow, nobody's in, this is flat. The Dow was like, we're gonna go. The NASDAQ like, we're going down. This is like, yeah, it's a good time to do nothing. And the Dixie's just sitting around. Just sitting around. So this made a higher high. This made a I guess lower, higher high, lower low, doing nothing. Sticky fingers off of the trigger. Honestly, like if this short idea was to work, it would be just pure luck. Pure unadulterated luck. We've been consolidating. We broke out of that and went long. We've hit an order block on the 15. Is that on the 15? I don't see it here on the 15. Must be on the 5 minute. I don't like it. We made equal lows here. 3, 2, 1. Nah. It's hanging out to. It's hanging out. Let's see. What are you doing with yourself? Is it this one that you're hanging out inside of? Yes. Yes, it is. It's hanging out inside of there. So 6 o'clock. So yesterday, and but I mean, if this comes down, that's great, but at this rate, what do we have? We have fair value gaps down here, sell side down here. If I were to drop my fib on one of these highs, drop below, we said we had sell side here, and oops, right here is where I would estimate they're going to come down to, if they're going to come down to anything. So that's still relevant for that one and that one. And let's also check this one. Oops. Grab the wrong thing. Let's check this high. That low. This is saying 4087, which is the very base of this. Sort of in between. I'm gonna go with the first projection. That would be 23 ticks. I mean, it technically follows the model, technically, but it left these equal highs. I didn't like that, so, well, there she goes. Let's see. Seems like a 5 minute. Need a proper shift out of this. This does feel like it's dropping. I think this is the base of the order block too. Kitty's curling up now. All right. So okay, so now we have like a shift above it, below it, cleaner. Opportunity for entry was here. Let's note that, move this out the way, it's really annoying. Opportunity for entry with a base, while inside of this fair value gap, while covering for them potentially coming up to this. But from there, they see that's 4189.75. Okay, from there, they've only moved 10 ticks, half. So we need them to come down to here. This was acting as a support. We need this to turn into resistance and show some style and readiness to come down. To the 5 minute. So I haven't taken this out. And between here and here, they took this out with some nice green candles and then came back down. So this could just be a stop run on these guys. And let's get back up on, yeah, everybody is out of sync. The Dixie doesn't appear to be really doing anything. So next area of interest, I think, is here for the Dixie. This is buy side. It's continuing on up. Downside 101 to 83. So they take this out. For sell side, we might be cooking with some Crisco. Let's see. In the meantime, they haven't taken this out. And nobody's in concert. So while everybody's acting stupid, let's go back test, huh? Let's back test. Did I already get it up? Okay. Cool. Let's clear everything out. Even that. Let's go to the daily. Right. So, chop. Breaking this up into awfulness. Let's just close our eyes and Stevie Wonder this stuff, right? Let's just try and be in this general vicinity, you know? Click. Where'd we end up? Okay, Monday. Yeah, I like a good Monday. All right, so it's a Monday. What are we doing on the daily? Let's see. So I've tapped into this volume imbalance. Let's note that. Volume imbalance. And looks like the top of that down candle right there. Bearish order block right here. Let me just note the base. Let me save this. I already have a bearish order block set up. I don't like the dotted line of the orange. Okay, so I have a bearish order block up there. Down here, we have a bullish order block right here. Just noting all the high time frame PD arrays. Using the wick because it's a long wick. So I have a bullish order block there. Fair value gap all up in here for them to play with. What else have they buttressed up into? Okay, so let's go. So right now it's looking bullish, right? Okay, we'll add the sessions in a second. So on the 4-hour, a little bit more clearly, they've buttressed into this bearish order block on the 4-hour, along with the volume imbalance. And they're looks like they're being held by this fair value gap. We're respecting it, even if they've chopped above it. They can do that. And then the 1-hour, hold on. Just, I'll go back and forth checking. So we're still chopping along. Dixie's just doing nothing. All right, so then on the, what have we done so far? This one's holding them up as support on the 4 hours. Yeah. So it's bullish, so I might pay more attention to this one. It's expecting support. Okay, so we've been on a bit of an upward tear for the last 2, 3, maybe 5 or so, 6 days. All right, so next area of interest would be these relatively flat tops. Buy side, what time is it on a Monday? It's 4 o'clock on a Monday, so we're going to be working on Tuesday, so I'm going to push this forward. And you know what? One thing that I have yet to figure out how to do properly is deal with Asia. So what I'm going to do is, where's 8 o'clock? That's 8 o'clock. So let me see if there's anything we can do between 8 and midnight. All right, so we're in between these ranges. So right now, we've taken this, chopped up. We had a shift right here, dropped, but we're bullish. And we're going to take this out. All we've done is drop into an order block here. Okay, and then we're shifting upwards. So what this looks like on the 5 minutes. So I don't know if I can trade Asia. It's so slow. All right. So what time is it? It's probably too late anyway to try and trade Asia, but I don't like it. It's, at least on this day, the volume is too low for me to feel like anything. Never mind. Thought maybe I'd see something juicy in there. Like that's the range for Asia. Like that's the range. The range for I'm sorry. The range for the IPTA range or whatever is that. Did I create a thing for this? So that's the CBDR. So if we're going to continue upwards, how many ticks is that? Let's just estimate. From here to here. It's 61 ticks. That's quite a bit. The Asian range is significantly smaller. Well, that's 8 o'clock. The Asian range is from here to here. Interesting. I'll keep the CBDR just as a reference. And if I clone this puppy, let's say we've been on an upward tear. Let's say we're continuing on up. And clone it one more time. Now we're just estimating how far things could go, right? Sorry, I need to. Okay, so what we have is original, 1 standard deviation, 2 standard deviations. Let's go for 3 at the max. So that's 3 standard deviations if we're going up, so we would be headed for 41, 47.50 if we're going to continue on up. So it is, if we're going down, then I'd have to estimate it in the opposite direction to dig into all of this BISI, buy side imbalance, sell side inefficiency that's down here. So let's see. I need him to break below here, turn this into support before anything else. All right, so let's get to. So I'm not gonna be awake for London, so I'm gonna ignore London. So let's get to let's see if anything forms. Let's see what we can do between 4 and 7, just for funsies. And see if anything forms. Consolidating inside the CBDR. Okay, so what time is this? Oh, did I push it? Oh, I pushed it too far. Oh, sorry guys. 4 was here. 7 was here. Let's look at the 5-minute. Anything juicy? This shift right here? Okay, no. So let's, it's like a hit or miss, really. So this shift, I liked that. It came back down into not even this low. Oh, wow. What is this? There's quite a gap right there. They're playing around in that gap. So what time is it? 9:55. So if I turn this on, it's 8:30 to 9:30. That's not right. It's 9:30, 10:30. So 10:30 is all the way over here. Why is it doing that? Um, Weird behavior. Anyway, so we've seen them come down into, I'm just going to note the sell side right here. There's the bigger one down here. Let's see what they do with it. Actually, I'm just going to do this, right? And let's see what they do. So we are at 10 o'clock. All right, beautiful. Chop, chop, chop. And for me, buy sides all the way up here. Let's go back in here and check. Still hanging out. That's saying we're going down. That's saying we're going up. That's saying we're not doing anything. That's massively confusing. And I'm going to move back to what I was doing over here. Okay, so we've got sell side all the way down here. I haven't even bothered to note like new week opening gaps that they might be reaching for. And relative equals here, here, and here. So So let's see, 8:30 opened here and they dropped. The midnight opening was up here and then 8:30 dropped. I guess that's the Judas swing and then 8:30 up. Okay, so we're at 10 o'clock right here. Let's see if they give us something obvious. Technically they have, right? They shifted below here. Let's look at this. They gave us a order block here. This is a volume imbalance right here for them to come back up into. Fair value gap a little bit above it. Let's look at the 4 minutes. And I don't know if they're gonna bother since they've been waking up. 3 minutes. I could probably go, nope. 3 minutes the lowest I can go. Okay. 3 minutes. Excuse me, guys. Yeah, I think they're gonna hold maybe until 8:30. Sorry, let's dig back this way. Okay, so it's now 9:57. Let's move this forward. Oh, wow. Well, that's a very clear sign. All right, well, that's on the 3 minutes. Very clear. They took out these guys, those guys. Ah, man. So let me adjust my CBD range. So that's what that is. Let's go in the opposite direction. So they've busted past one standard deviation. And then, so 3 would put us into some sort of order block down here. I don't have enough experience yet to know how far they might dig into that, but wow, this is Tuesday, March 7th. Let's go to Forex Factory and back up a bit because I didn't check the news, right? So let's go last month. Let's go the 6th through the 10th. Oh, sorry, 6th, then we're going to end on the 10th. Apply so we can see what's going on. So March 7th, 10 o'clock. Oh, the Fed chair testified. Right. Okay. So that's why we have this big gross candle. Still holding. So homeboy testified. And we went down. Question is, do we stay down? Because they've created these very, very juicy areas here. And where are you running to? There's sell side down here as well. Okay. Tap that. Continue on down. I don't think there's any opportunities to catch that. I'm just gonna keep, wow, we're just 2 standard deviations in. Wow. 10:06, few minutes. All right, so is testifying at 10 o'clock. I'm gonna wait for but at least half an hour, I think. So let's move this along. Yeah, okay. So we have this and all of this. I don't know if that they'll come all the way back into that, but who knows? Let's look at the 4 minutes since we can't go any lower. 5 minutes. 3 minutes. Okay. It's 10:30. So we have a shift here. And then come back into this order block, but they actually, no, they haven't dug into anything. Well, they dug into it a little bit with that candle. It's 10:30. Okay, so they're digging back up. Now, where is, what is it? Just looking for that to see if they're going to come all the way back up this way. It's quite a downshift, right? Not quite mean threshold. Okay. So it's now 10:42 and we've had quite a down thing. We've had a retracement back up and a shift below here. We've left an order block here. Maybe we'll get a short from here. Do I get to dig in a little more? Yeah, it did. Probably be better on the 1 minute. And then dropping further down, probably to take out, come into here. So on the 3 minute, we had a shift, come back up, create an order block here. There's a volume imbalance right here. So the potential for them to come back right here and drop. So my thoughts would be here. It's a lot of ticks. What does 8 ticks look like from here? It's not pretty. And then maybe aim for the base of this. I'll take that out. The volume imbalance is a draw. It doesn't look like it's much of a draw. They've taken this guy out and reassess what they're going to do. They're losing steam on the downside. I'm waiting for them to come to the end of this thing. It's 5 minutes. So they came back into this order block right here and then dropped. Like, I don't know that I were to say my 16 ticks halfway up this candle past the mean threshold of it. On the 3 minute, and this is where that patience comes in, right? So this order block here has this fair value gap. If I were to take the order from here, actually I want them to tap into this thing right here. Stay. 16 ticks. Let's see. Really? So I just don't understand. It should be a draw, but they haven't made it back all the way. Oh man, hold on. The low of this candle is 40.55.25. The high of this candle, oops, is 40.55. Never made it up to it. I mean, this is never came back to where I wanted to have an entry. And I mean, if it did, I would have to watch what it did when it got there. So here's where I wanted to have an entry. It tapped in. Is it respecting this order block? This. Now, this was something that I was somewhat concerned about, right? This fair value gap. They're inside this order block. Okay, so now we have a shift. Like that's a good shift, right? Okay, we have a low, lower low, trade it through. Here is a breaker right here. So if I were to buy here, let's see, where am I aiming for? These guys up here. Let me take this out, this fair value gap right here. So if I were to drop a fib on it, let's use this low and that high. So if I'm aiming for up here, come back all the way this way. Let's see how far we get. I should have waited for them to dig further into this. From here, oof, oof. My stop loss would have already been hit. But let's see if I'm just wrong and they were just coming back down to this order block. And I'm wrong, the breaker is this green candle, not that one. So entry should have been here. Let's see. Nope. What is this time frame? Oh, lunchtime. See, I just forgot about time. So this is what happens when you... So we were dropping precipitously. Why did I want to go long? If I was stupid, if I was really like paying attention, they came into where I wanted to go short. They came into where I wanted to go short, respected this order block, and then dropped. Yeah. So, all right, let's go check out on what we're doing here. All right, looks like we're trying to. Ooh, what? Hello. So this guy is making some moves. The Dow is like, I'm going up. Nasdaq's not doing anything. We are just consolidating. All right. So my original plan for the short. Problem is I didn't like all this, how much the stop would have been. So what if I'd said, so we have all this, they might dig further in. What if I'd said like mean threshold? That's with my usual, I would have been stopped out, obviously. They never bothered to come up here. Some days I just don't really understand, you know? Anyway, so it's now the afternoon. Something I want to check out. So we're dropping, okay, so we made another, so we've made we've taken out sell side here. We can, what? Maybe it was they came back up into where sell side is and then dropped again. I keep forgetting those are old highs or lows, you know? All right, they took this guy out. We've been dropping. I'm curious. So in the afternoon, like the last hour, they tend to reverse for a little bit. So let's see if that's true. It's 120. Okay, order block there. Continue on down. Okay, so it's 140. Taking this the sell side, I noted. So 140. So let me see what happens. 210. So at most they're coming back up into this order block. Fair value gap right here. 220. 225. Digging all the holes in here. 3 o'clock. Okay. So 3 o'clock. somewhere between 3:15 and 3:45. Okay, drop it to 3 minute. Could we get a long out of this? They've been dropping a bunch. Someone said yesterday that they tend to reverse, you know, at in the afternoon. If they've been dropping a bunch, they go in the opposite direction. So let's see. So let's see what happens here. Okay. I gotta get over this for me to feel like they're going up. So we're just at this order block. It's not really a shift I'm looking for. Okay, so 3:30. Strong green candle. Did technically have a shift here and here. They didn't take this up, but strong green candle right here. And all right, they took that out. So now we have a nice strong shift to leave us anything to work with, just this order block. So I would buy right here. Oh, come on. Sorry. I bought too early. I didn't realize there was a fair value gap right in here. So this is where I would have wanted to have bought. And so if I bought in so all this order block right here, they left this fair value gap. This is where I'm really impulsive, right? So I want to test this out. So let's say I got midpoint in here. 16 ticks would have been right there. And I'm trying to go up to this order block at the minimum. Let's see if this concept is right or way too early. It's not feeling like, time is it? 4:15. Okay. It's like by 5 o'clock, by after 4 o'clock, it just starts to meander around. So at about 3 o'clock, it did turn and take out these highs, and that was it. It dropped back into this order block and then went up. So what did that fair value gap? And then that gave us, as if we're like aiming for inside of this fair value gap, they gave us 36 ticks. Well, I'm gonna stop here. Let's go see. Still holding us inside of here. She's not good. I have no bias at the moment. This is ridiculous. All right, I'm gonna be tripling down on my practice because my ability to read seems to be slowly eroding for some reason instead of getting better. I'm also feeling a little lost because I've pretty much gone through most of the content for ICT and I don't really know what else I'm supposed to be doing besides backtesting. But I'm gonna get through this moment as we all will. All right, guys. Happy trading. I will be spending time trying to fix my drawdown. I will not be resetting my account. This is like real life for me. So I would have just lost 1275 of my money. So now I need to make it back methodically. See if I can find some discipline. All right. Let me know what your thoughts are. The reversal thing is not necessarily true. I mean, it is, but isn't. When it happens within the 3 to 4 time frame is variable. So just got to keep testing. All right, guys. Happy Thursday. Drop a like, drop a comment, subscribe if you feel like it. Kira out.